Hi boys and girls, it's Mrs. J. Thanks for joining me again for another math video. So these are going to be the answer keys for the worksheets for 412. This is a reteach worksheet and a practice worksheet, and they were either in the framework that you can get in the third grade section under math, or they were in one of the separate math emails that I sent you that was new math, but it's review this week. They were down at the bottom of that email. Okay, so these videos have to do with graphs, which is kind of fun. We always had a good time doing graphs in school. We haven't done them in a while, obviously, because we haven't been together, but graphs should be review for you. So there's some pictographs and some bar graphs, and I'm going to start with the reteach worksheet. And one of the things you always want to remember with a graph, no matter what, is that if there's a key, you always want to look for the key, especially in a pictograph. You have to look at the key because then that will tell you how much each one of your little symbols is worth. Because if you did this whole graph, you did this pictograph, and you just counted by ones, that would unfortunately give you all wrong answers, because that is not what the key is telling you. They're telling you that the key, each little box stands for 5 votes. So if I was to go ahead, I always like to, in a pictograph, figure out how much everything is worth in the first place. So if I have 2, 5, this is worth 10, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, this is 30, 5, 10, 15, 20. I always like to do that just when we start, because that way you don't have to keep counting and recounting and refreshing your memory. And remember, whenever we have a pictograph, now this one probably wouldn't be a good example because if we divided an odd number in half, we'd have an extra half. But remember, if you get a pictograph that has half of a symbol, you, whatever this total would be, would want to divide that in half. Like if this, for example, was 6 votes, and then you had a half a box, it would be 3. That would make more sense. Obviously, they don't have any halves in this graph for a reason. So they've helped us along with the first one. So how many votes did grape juice get? Well, I already figured that out. 5, 10, 15, 20. 20 votes. And the thing that you have to see here and you have to remember is that you must have a label. These are 2-part answers, just like with measurement. So these are all going to be 2-point answers. You have to have the correct answer, and you must have a correct label to get full credit. Okay? So how many votes did orange juice get? Well, I already figured that out too. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So 30 votes is the correct answer for number 2. And number 3, ooh, this is a little tricky. How many more votes did orange get than apple? Well, orange, make sure I'm still on the paper. Yep. Orange got 30. Apple got 10. So more tells me I want to subtract. My answer is 20. And my label would be votes. 20 votes. Okay, 20 votes. So hopefully you had all the right answers for the graph at the top. Let's look at the one at the bottom now, because now we switch to a bar graph. Now we want to look at the scale. Bar graphs have scales, and it looks to me like this is counting by tens. So each of these is going up by 10, and then if we had a half, we would know that this would be a number that would end in 5. So let's take a look and see. So for art museum, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. And we have a half, so that would be 65. Planetarium would just be 40. And the farm would be 80 plus 5 more. The farm would be 85. So I just want to double check. It's always a good idea just to double check. You know, sometimes I make silly mistakes. So it looks like I have all of my values correct. So how many students chose the farm as their favorite? Well, we did that, 85. And the label is students because that's what they're asking for in our answer. So 85 students would give you 2 points. Number 5, how many students like the planetarium the best? Wow, only 40. I love the planetarium. You ever been to the planetarium? I think out of all of those, I might pick the planetarium. But, oh well, kids like farm. Not so many kids like the planetarium. Only 40 students liked the planetarium. Okay, so 40 students for the planetarium. And then let's look at number 6. How many more students chose the farm than the art museum? Well, the farm had 85. Let me move over just a titch. The art museum had 65, so that looks like 20 students. How many more students? 20 students. Okay, so there you go. So there's your answers for 412 reteach. Let's go to the practice. All right, I'll give you a second to switch worksheets and to make sure that you have the right ones there, making sure that I've got my right paper too. Okay, so we have bar graphs again on this paper, which is kind of fun. So the first one, we always want to look at the title of our graph because that'll tell us what it's about. So movies streamed by the Smith family. So this is the type of movie, drama, comedy, thriller, and the number of movies. Wow, they watch a lot of movies, don't they? They must have been on COVID quarantine too. All right, so how many dramas did the Smiths stream? Well, how many dramas? I'm going to go over here and I'm going to go down drama and I'm going to see 18 dramas. That's a lot. Okay. How many more comedies than thrillers did the Smiths stream? Comedies versus thrillers. Well, it looks like comedies. Let me, on the screen. Okay. Comedies is 24 and thrillers is 12. Oh, so I'm going to subtract those and I actually get 12. So how many more comedies? 12 more comedies. Looks like they like funny movies, don't they? They actually watch the most of funny movies. Now, number 3 is a little unique. I can't really help you with that. What they wanted you to do is write 2 questions based on the graph. So you could have asked a specific question on, how many thrillers did they watch? What's the total amount of movies that they watched? What did they watch more than another movie? So I'm going to kind of leave that up to your judgment. So hopefully you were able to come up with 2 good questions about the graph and give yourself 2 stars if you were able to do that. Okay? So let's go down for 4, 5, and 6 and we're going to look at favorite school lunch. Pizza, pasta, tacos. If it was J.A., I think chocolate chip pancakes should make the list because I know that's the lunch that we always get the most votes for. All right, so number 4. How many students chose pizza or pasta? Ooh, so we're going to be doing pizza or pasta together. So pizza and pasta. So pizza is 35. Pasta is 15, and we would want to add those together. And that would give me 50. 50 students liked pizza and pasta. That's a mouthful. So 50 students. Oops, I should make that plural. There we go. All right, which lunch did the fewest students choose? Well, that's easy. That's pasta. So which lunch? I think we can just put pasta. I mean, that's the only label because we don't have an amount. It's just a straight answer. It's just pasta, okay? Number 6 again, if you were able to come up with 2 questions, just give yourself 2 stars for those answers. Again, obviously, I have no way of seeing or reading your questions. So you could have asked any combination of questions or how many amounts they got, what's the total amount of kids that got lunch. You'd have to come up with those on your own, and hopefully you were able to do that. So if you had 2 math questions for number 6, just like in number 3, give yourself extra 2 stars for that. All right. So I hope you had fun with graphing. I know we always like graphs when we do those in math. Pictographs are a lot of fun. I think we always like pictographs better, but I hope you had a fun time with pictographs and graphs, and I hope you were able to get many of the answers correct.